Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. Welcome to Friday, and today I've got something a little bit different. I got the back half of the year video of new releases, reissues, the schedule of what's coming out by the end of the year, and I know it's not quite the back half, it's more like the quarter. We've been about 2 months behind so far this year, dragging for the majority of the year. That's just the way it is. It's better late than never. But I'm going to talk about new issue items. I'm going to talk about reissue items. Some of these reissues you might not even know are coming. And all you got to do to thank me is, well, not just like and subscribe. I talk about that at the end. What I'd like is if I miss something, if something's not on my list, I'd like you to let me know in the comments below. Let's get into this. Okay, so this list is just tentative, things change, and some of the things that were on my back half of the year list last year still aren't out yet. I'll talk about that when I get to them, but starting out, we've got the Fans Toys Dune Rider. Now, a lot of people already have that. Some places might still be getting their stock in. That's coming out right now this month. If you haven't already gotten your Transform Element, that thing's coming out right now. The Transform Element Mirage is a pretty good figure. X-Transbots and their Swarm Team and their Endress. This guy, pretty cool. Definitely has a new repaint, a new color scheme. I think it would actually kind of match with Fans Toys and the other offerings from X-Transbots and DX9 a little better than the first one. But we'll see when we get it and compare it. But this thing's coming out this month in September. We also have the Generation Toy Gorilla, the White Gorilla. This is a repaint of something they've already put out, but it's coming out and it's something a little different. It looks pretty cool. Okay, so Crash Hog is getting a reissue and should be out this month also, along with the other two. But it's one of those things, I really think it's good that X-Transbots reissues figures like this iconic Wreck-Gar. Obviously, you'd want Wreck-Gar if you're getting the other ones, so if they're putting the other ones out and you can't get your hands on a Wreck-Gar, that would kind of suck. So that's one good thing about X-Transbots is that they do reissue quite a few figures that everybody wants. This one here, they call this one Dregs, and it's a pretty cool looking one. All of these are slightly a little bit different, which is why they can't just, I guess, pump them all out at once. They're making some different parts for each one, but the majority of the parts are the same. They share quite a bit, but they are different figures, a little bit. This is one they're calling Gunker, so it would be the fourth of theirs, so that you'd have all four of these guys. You can get your Crash Hog and make a nice scene full of Junkyards. These are all like 120 each, depending on where you get them, and make a nice scene. Okay, so we've got Planet X with their Planet X Pluto, which is their version of Megatron, and then they have also their Vulcan in their version of a Grimlock. Now, I'm not 100% sure if these figures are even going to be Masterpiece scale. I'm trying to find the size of them, but anyway, I figured I'd throw them in. It'd be pretty cool. They're coming out this month. And next on the list, that's coming out in September. It's out right now at Show Z, but some of the US retailers don't show them as in stock just yet, still on pre-order till October. But this is the Zeta Toys Spacetron. Now, a lot of people give this thing a lot of negativity, but it looks decent in my opinion, and it's only 80 bucks. If you missed out on the Thomas pre-order, if you don't feel like dropping $220 on Thomas or $300 on the secondary market or whatever, then this is an option for you. But this one's actually already selling out. Pre-order is selling out all over the place because of the price. And it's not a horrible figure. But of course, I can't guarantee that till I get mine in hand and actually do a review of it. And this is just a reuse of the toy world. And also going to put out their Bruticus again. So if you're into another Bruticon, if you want to go that route, you can do it. Okay, starting with October. Here we are in October. Red Falcon. This thing is $116, and it's kind of a Starscream that turns into a bird, sorta. That's a thing that you can get coming up in October. Made by a company, TT Hongley. The next thing coming up in October is the Fans Toys FT44, their take on Astro Train. The thing about this is, this thing is probably the most anticipated figure of the whole year. This is one of the figures that is just desperately needed. We need a character to look this good, but, you know, of course we have the Zeta option. No doubt in my mind this one will be better and superior to the Zeta. Just massively superior to the Zeta. But it is going to be expensive, and it is going to be really hard to get your hands on, but it's coming out in October. We're also getting a Make Toys Downbeat reissue in October, allegedly. And I really want to see if they do get this out in October or pretty soon. I want to see what Make Toys is still up to. And there's a lot of reasons for that because I'm kind of excited for some other things that they could be putting out. And I really hope they're still in the game and they're still keeping it going. But Make Toys Downbeat. Next up, we got a reissue of Fans Toys Spoiler coming. And I got to tell you that it's hard for me to confirm that there even was a reissue because the pre-orders got put up and were gone. So I wasn't really in the market for one, so I wasn't looking real hard. But when I heard that one was coming, finding evidence that it even exists was hard. I did, and it is coming, but it seems to be sold out everywhere. Also in October, we're supposed to be getting this Nemo and Motif set of 2 from MMC. And what I think is really cool is that I would just be perfectly fine with using this dude here as an eject for next to my blaster or something like that. It looks pretty good. It would work. It would fit the bill. But it's not really what it's intended for. Also, MMC is reissuing their Furor and Riot, which is Rumble and Frenzy. And for $160, that's still not a bad price. That sort of makes them like $80 a piece. And these figures are good figures. They're very solid. I do like them. They're big, and big, well, it's Masterpiece, so yeah. I almost wasn't going to include this reissue of Toy World's Constructor for October, but I keep forgetting how many new collectors are in the game that didn't get an opportunity to buy a $500 version of Constructor when there's these $700 and $800 and $900 versions with all these strange paint jobs. So this is a bare bones, G1-esque, $500 version coming in October, and pre-orders are still up, so you can still get your hands on one. So I figured I'd throw it your way. We're also coming out with the G Creation Ultra Maximus GW01. It's a $150 figure. It's going to be about 9.5 inches tall. He's going to be a pretty big, beefy dude for a Prime. And if you're in on this thing, look for this thing in October. And they're also putting out their Dust, the GDW02B. And a pretty cool, interesting take. Looks like a smokescreen to me. But he's coming out in October, $115. And there's a limit on this in some places, so that's interesting. So X-Transbots is reissuing their Peon, and this is their cartoon version. And so I don't know how much this is going to differ from the one they put out before, but I am kind of interested in picking this thing up. And I know a lot of people have had a lot of really great things to say about this figure, so I'm looking forward to getting it myself. For $130 price point, it's still a pretty good value. When it was out last, though, it was like an $80 or $90 figure. Same thing with their Aegis or their Trailbreaker. And this is a solid figure. I have it. I've gotten a couple of different versions of it. This version is the more toon look, and it does sort of match what Takara's doing a little bit more, a little bit better. And so you can get this for $130. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, hey, I'm going to wait for the Fans Toys. And I'm not doing that thing. I got this guy. He's in my display. I'm enjoying him. And when I get the Fans Toys, it'll be a nice comparison. So, next up here, still in October, we're still working on October, Zeta's version of RC. They call it ARC, and it's the Zeta EX05B. Now, this is a different kind of a pink coloring to the one that was already put out. See, Zeta put out theirs in a metallic color, which is a reuse of the Toy World mold, but it was really Zeta's mold. The thing about it, this figure gets a lot of negativity, and this is one of my favorite RCs out. I don't care, because I don't really transform it. You heard the phrase, a lot of junk in the trunk. There is no trunk on this thing at all, whatsoever. There is no storage space in vehicle mode. It's not really a vehicle mode. Okay, get that out of there. But anyway, it's an option if you want an RC. Alright, so getting into November. What's coming in November? Well, we're going to get Fans Toys Smokey, and it's going to be their take on Drag Strip. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with these figures. I wasn't at first. At first, I was kind of like on the, too skinny side and whatever. But I've gotten over all that. These are great figures. Fans Toys figures are just looking awesome in bot mode. I love the taller size. I would have wished that Takara had their Carbots a little bit taller. Maybe not this tall, but at the end, they are excellent figures. I look forward to every single one that comes out, and this one here is on the way in November. We're also going to see in November the DX9 Montana G2 version coming your way. And this figure is pretty interesting. You can get it for like 60 bucks at Show Z. And I think that they're going to do all of them in G2, obviously. But it starts to make me wonder, will Fans Toys jump on this? Because we've already got X Transbots, now we got DX9. Will Fans Toys start doing some G2 recolors? We'll find that out soon, hopefully. Next up, we're supposed to be getting a Lemon Tree Optimus Prime in the November time frame. And this is going to be a pretty good looking figure, I hope. I don't know much about it. I do hope Lemon Tree does good work. I hope they do great work. And I really want to see what it's all about. For 90 bucks, you know, it's going to be a solid figure, I hope. And I actually think a few people have their hands on it already. I don't know why every other place hasn't quite got it in stock yet, but looking forward to it. Quick edit here. Looks like old Bennett, Ben Collectibles, has gotten his hands on one. I need to check that video out. So, yeah. Next up, we've got another November release, the DX9's Sugar. Well, there's a lot of talk about what the name means, but it's still an Astro Train, right? It's an Astro Train option. I actually had this figure, and he does some things well, some things not so well. But at the end of the day, it's an Astro Train option that is cheaper than the Fans Toys and will be easier to get your hands on than the Fans Toys, but it's still $160. Next up is something pretty exciting to me, is the Giga Power Gigasaurus Gutter and their take on this Dinobot. I don't actually have a representation of this Dinobot. This one's in chrome, which I prefer the chrome for my collection, so I'm excited for this. So if you're in on it, they still have pre-orders open around different places, so you might want to jump on one if you're in on this. I do like the Giga Power. They are bigger than Fans Toys, a little bit more bling bling than Fans Toys, a little bit less tune accurate than Fans Toys, a little bit stylized. So depends on your taste if you want to be in on these. Next up in November, we have Make Toys and their Coneheads. They're supposed to be out in November, which is kind of crazy. Like, how are you going to have both of them out at the same time within the same month? And I think if we just get one, I'd be happy. And then we get the other. Here's the thing. The Takara mold that's coming out is going to be way expensive. These are $120, so I think it works pretty good price-wise, but I don't want to be spending no $300 per figure for the Takara versions right off the bat when you've got these. Plus, Takara will probably take a while to get around to the Coneheads anyway, and with that, these are great options. But the other thing is, if we get the Make Toys downbeat, we get the Make Toys Coneheads, then we might get the reissue of the other Seekers, and we might get all of the other stuff that's on the table for Make Toys, such as their Headmasters. Next on the list is a big release. This is actually a huge figure. He is huge. He's going to tower over the majority of your Masterpiece collection at his 10-point-something inches. But $175 figure. He's pretty expensive. He has electronics and all that stuff. I do look forward to it. I do look forward to something new from X Transbots, and we're going to talk about more of that as it comes up. But X Transbots and their Dr. Egg coming in November. So coming in December, we're going to start with some December slots, figures that come in December. DX9 and their final component of their Minosaur, and it's the Giuliano. This, we don't have a picture of it. We have no idea what it's going to look like. We know it's going to be drag strip. We know that. And it just has to be. But I am really impressed with DX9, and I was probably the biggest DX9 hater this time a year ago, and they turned me around. They turned me around because their figures are actually pretty decent. The transformations are not horrible, and you're actually going to get it. It's actually going to be built and on my shelf, and I can have something checked off on my list. Building these combiners one figure at a time and waiting what could be 2 years is not the most fun. Next up in December is Spindrift 2.0. Now, I gotta tell you, I like X-Transbots and what they did with theirs. I still look forward to this guy. I'm gonna get him. I feel like he's a little bit short, but I do like Fans Toys' work and what they've done. I do think that Fans Toys and their figures do look really good together, and you can mix and match other companies, but Fans Toys tries to make all of theirs look good together. But I still feel like he's too short. That's just my thing. That's a me thing. Maybe that's my problem. And I'll deal with it and get over it. But I do want to show you something in the alt mode picture here. And I really, really, really like the shiny metallic look of Sheridan in this picture. The tank over here, that's what I wanted my Sheridan to look like. I'm not as happy about the flat look. And I'm probably in the minority on this. But I do want the shiny metallic. And if Fans Toys reissues it and any of their other figures with the shiny metallic, you guarantee I'm going to be on it. So another December release, we're going to see the first of Rising Force and their version of Drag Strip. I am looking forward to somebody reviewing these. It's not going to be me, but I'm interested in seeing genuinely how this company does. I want every company out there, or anybody that wants to give it a shot, to give it a go, and I would support them. But the problem is that this is now the 4th. I never thought I'd be in on 3 Minosaurs. I'm not going to be in on a 4th. But if nobody's picked one, and this one is technically cheaper, maybe, in the end, then this one would win. I'd like to see what they do different. What's going to be different about this? What's going to make you stand out competing against 3 established companies that have already made it? So in December, we're also supposed to be getting this Toy World Tactical Commander repaint into their Nemesis Prime. And he looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if he looks 260 good, but he does come with all those accessories. There's a massive amount of accessories to kind of make it worthwhile. And he's coming out in December. Next up, we got this Unique Toys, and they call it Nero. And I think it looks pretty interesting. It's not something for me, but I know a lot of people that are really excited for this, and it's going to be a pretty beefy figure. It's $215, but what I do want to say is I'm happy that I can include Unique Toys on this list as actually putting something out this year for the remainder of the year and the back half of the year. Next up, a December release is X-Transbots Virtus, and I have to say, I have already prepaid for this guy. I think it's been like 2 years. I don't know. It's crazy. I need this guy to come in and show up. I need you in my life here. But I give a lot of people crap about being the last to the game, like Rising Force. If you're last to the game, you got to be the best. I'm going to get it. I really hope it's the best. I've technically got all my money riding on it. Now, there is no actual official release date for X-Transbots Loki, whatever they call this, their cup. And I have to say that I found a release schedule from them. He should have been out by now, according to a release schedule that I found. Like, maybe it's not official. I just saw this release schedule, and he should have been out before Dr. Egg. So I don't really know why there's not official pre-orders on every site, why there's not official dates on this thing, what's the holdup on this thing. Is this gonna be the same thing as their Springer? And the infamous Gravestone trailer. Come on, we got to get this thing. We've got to get this finished. We got to get it up and running. I know that they caught a lot of heat from one of these TF cons or whatever, one of these toy shows, where they showed a G2 repaint that was very sloppily painted, and they were displaying that instead of the G1 version. It didn't look like it was the best presentation they could do. And then they went back to the drawing board to redo this trailer. But you need the trailer to combine it or build it, from my understanding. And that's just something. They actually had 2 trailers planned in the beginning. So not sure what they're doing. Why do they need to incorporate this whole gimmick of a battle station? Just get it out. So let me know what you guys think about all these upcoming releases. What are you the most excited about? What are you going to get? What are you going to pass on? What did I miss that's not on this list that's really awesome? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to Deer Hanger. out.